All right, thank you very much. You're welcome. My name is Felix. I'm privileged to be the team leader of Plan B Express. Welcome for this is the first episode of this series called PBX Monimatical Equations towards building a solid digital portfolio. Okay. And I'm going to just harness, we walk through on three major segments and then that have sub layers. Then over time, we'll take them one by one and how you can plug into some of those opportunities and what you should be aware of and then why plugging in. And then the comparison to an extent of what about the digital portfolio. And you'll see there's no English called Monimatical. So I just have to let you know that beyond mathematical, there's a Monimatical. So when you are doing something that has to do with money calculation, then you are doing Monimatical. I'm not talking about financial because I'm not a financial expert. So I'll owe to my opinion of what Monimatical is all about, okay? And then so let it stand to your mind. But there's definitely what we need to understand about business and what we need to maximize the opportunity in the digital space. Now, you agree with me today, the digital space is beyond what you used to know and not like the conventional thing we used to know or the idea we used to convey about digital space. Now, why do I need to be actually positioned? Now, I'm not saying you are late now, but you are not the pioneer. A lot of people saw it before it started happening. And not just saying something, but what to do why is something about to happen is actually what matters. So a lot of people saw it and they were ahead of many of us and they took advantage of it. How do I mean? Now, if you look at the time of the internet and all of that, I can tell you that not everybody understood what internet was going to be used for. And even people who are in the forefront of maybe financial giant and all of that, they could actually not envisage how powerful the internet was going to be coming. And then, so they just thought the business as usual. And then no one actually want to look at it. And definitely, we always say the worst ignorance to reject what you know nothing about from afar. And that's exactly what happened. A lot of people say, internet, no. Then the people who now exploit it, and that's more reason why most of us need to actually stand to understand. They were all called horizontal and vertical knowledge. Now, sometimes most of us are highly vertical in our knowledge, but not horizontal a little. And so that's why we're straitjacket in our opinion. So once something you have gone deeper about and somebody is talking, you literally do not have even basic. So you just like, no, 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 nothing like that. You just condemn it. It's not possible. And you in your ignorance, even though you are deeper in your level of knowledge or specialty, now you will be arguing blindly and then making fool of yourself. I must tell you. And I think that like most time people ask us when in the university days, why are we doing what we call general study? And so it like was for a waste, but to have consciousness. So for instance, you can't say you're a medical doctor and you play ignorance of what policy is talking about. You can't claim to be, you know, a lawyers and fail to understand how your head condition, at least basic, head tips about your life. And then you can't say you are an engineer and say to hell with government, whatever thing they want to do, or you don't want to know what the financial situation of the world is doing and all of that. So you can see how holistically looking at man, we are the center of it all. And then so when you have a vertical knowledge, there's a need for horizontal knowledge. So horizontal knowledge are basic things, not even what has to do with finance. Very, very important. So today I'm going to give us a brief intro and then I show some opportunity and then we pick them as we go by. So I think you don't need to miss out of any of the episodes because you continue daily, all right? Then you can rewatch on the YouTube and then you see all of those information are available and then that can help you to understand more things that will be bringing your way. Okay, so I'll start the intro and I'll show you some of those. Some of you are in our group, you see the opportunity, we are expanding and all of that. But definitely, are there risks associated with digital space? Very many, so many risks. But the question you ask is that are there no way of aversing some of those risks? That's why you need basic knowledge. All right. So even if you're a medical doctor, you're a lawyer, you are whatever, what you practice, what has to do with your finance is very important. You pay attention to it. So let me quickly share, my screen with you, and I take into some other space, or, how you can devise and take opportunity in the space. Okay, so I'm sharing my page right now. I hope those of you who are on the social media, you can hear me and you can see my screen. I'm sure you can hear me and see my screen. Thank you very much. So I'm going to be blinding my uh, page because of you have more clarity. Okay. All right. So thank you very much. Now, let's look at it. PBS Monimatical equation towards building a solid digital portfolio. Now, you got this. We said building a digital portfolio is the modern equivalent of acquiring prime real estate, but without the headaches of physical maintenance, number one, property taxes or geographical limitations. In 2026, wealth is no longer just measured by the bricks you own, but by the algorithm you control. So underline that word. How do I control algorithm? Very important. So you need to ask yourself, oh, Felix, you're talking of algorithm. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an IT person. So what are you talking about algorithm here? So what am I going to do with algorithm? I don't care about any algorithm. No, we didn't say you should know algorithm, but you need to have control of algorithm. Okay. Now, I just take a sequential movement now, talked about the internet, and then we talked about other things that came into the internet space. For instance, with that time, you had a much hype around the blockchain technology, and very many persons do not actually understand the dimension of that environment. So for them, was like, yes, I used to hear about internet. So as short as they were trying to understand internet and begin to like appreciate what internet can be used for, then something called blockchain start coming up. Has it been? It has been, but there are no more talk or talking or interaction about it. Okay. So that's one of the biggest challenge. So most persons do not actually pay attention talking to learn more about internet. All right. Talking much about internet, then we start having aspect of the blockchain technology and talking about cryptocurrency. But there's something that was so massive. One of the surface of the blockchain technology was the aspect of cryptocurrency. And to number of persons who do not understand what the blockchain technology was all about, and they bother none. So they didn't bother to understand what the blockchain was. Now, can I tell you something that now happened there? What that happened there in that blockchain was that people who probably wouldn't have good intentions start exploring it. Now, write it down. The blockchain technology, which I'm going to show you some things, has left the hands of the conventional right now. It's now moving into a structured organization. And I'm sure you probably will be hearing what they call BlackRock and all of those things. So you are now seeing company now doing what we call ETF. So now I'm taking you to a dimension where you need to understand why you need to build digital portfolio. And then so when we're telling you this is what you need to do, you understand why we're giving you all of this. Now we start having what we call ETF, crypto ETF. Okay. We start having, all right. Now, so if this equity trust fund start happening, look at what is happening. The people in charge of the crypto as an asset now are not retail trader any longer. You see all these company, they are conventional company. They have stock. They have stock. This is Grayscale, all right? Grayscale, we have MicroStrategy. These are companies that have their shares in the stock exchange market. Oh, yes. They are companies that have their stake in the stock exchange market. Now, you see all of these guys, they run ETF. I'm not going to go detail, but over time, there's a segment I will deal with about ETF. Now, you see what is happening. These are the guys that control the movement of the market right now. You see them? See, Grayscale didn't buy neither sell yesterday. This one bought 3,790K of BTC. This one bought 750. This one bought 60 something. This one didn't buy. This one bought this. This one didn't buy. This one bought this. So there was an inflow of money into Bitcoin. And that was why you see the massive movement yesterday. And so we have the total balance of about 4,000, 4,000, 4,830 Bitcoin what inflow. If you do the calculation, I think Bitcoin is about 70 something thousand dollars. So if you say 70 something thousand dollars, let's look at the inflow. So let's say $72,000. Okay, so multiply by $72,000 multiplied by 4,830 BTC. This is one. This is one. This is two. That's about $347 million inflow. Okay. So that was what reflected in the price of Bitcoin you saw. Now I'm trying to arrive at somewhere and I'm going to take you, I will deliver you to a place why you have a different narrative about the whole digital asset or portfolio to be built. Now, if this is the happening, then the previous time, while the other days will have some crash down, this is the inflow and outflow. Then the other day. Then if you check previously, you see the inflow and balance. I'm just trying to tell you the portfolio managers. You must have been hearing BlackRock, portfolio managers. What they have done was to stand as a middleman to help people who are afraid of investing in the volatility of Bitcoin and other related crypto, maybe Ethereum, and help them to manage the market. And yet, those people are getting paid, all right, passively. So they don't need to create the hurdles and they have, of course, deal, all right? Though they let them know that this space is involve a lot of risk because highly volatile, but they are not the one, taking all the time to be in the market. So they help them to control the segment. The question is that if I ask you now, how much money do you have to be part of it? Now, so let's quickly look at it. So we're going to show you how to control algorithm. You may not know about algorithms, but you can control it by participating. So why digital portfolio beat physical real estate for lease? Now, I know a lot of people, this is a mind belief. It's a mind belief in the sense that, please, I have to deal with this foundation, and I'll pick one aspect today, which is going to be automation. So we have a platform now running an automation. I will expose some of those things to you. Then by Monday, we continue from where we probably will stop today. Now, the digital portfolios beat physical real estate. Now, quickly, let me explain something to you. When I talk about digital portfolio, they are beyond some of those ROI platforms on the internet. Please don't misunderstand me. We have had a lot of platforms that will tell you we are managing your portfolio for you. They use those language, but that's not what they do. So you have to have this understanding. Does that make sense? Now, so these people are actually telling you, oh, we'll help you to invest with us, we'll give you money. No, 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 no. I'm not talking about those platforms. I'm exposing you to reality of how you can build up your portfolio, telling yourself the hard truth of the market. Now, I know a lot of you who invest in real estate now. I mean, looking at me, Felix, are you telling me that real estate is not a good business? No, it's a good business, but it can be a wrong business for you at a given time. That's what you need to understand. Why is it a wrong business for you at a given time? Quickly, we said real estate physically now. Now, if you are building digital portfolio, number one, you don't think about you have zero maintenance. Infinite scale. That is, a house requires repairs and can only be leased to one family at a time, right? So a digital asset. Now we have different diverse. I'm going to be exposing you to different digital assets you can have. A digital asset like digital solutions or an AI-driven exchange can be leased to 10,000 people simultaneously with zero extra cost. Example, if you have intellectual property. Now, you probably may not have intellectual property, but you have a company or platform that deals on intellectual property, right? And so when you are a co-investor into such company, you can know that you have less expenses, but you have more money made. So I just told you about the first aspect of the internet. Then we have the blockchain. That blockchain was beginning to so that's what I call it democratization. Because in the internet just surface of the internet time of just data read, you cannot even contribute. But then the blockchain comes and say, no, you can contribute, you can even have ownership. So that's where you'll be talking about right now. They call it Internet 2.0, which is the blockchain where you can have what we call ownership and have a shares and have a control. And then we'll talk about Web 3. So right now, Web 3 are surface where you create a content. And many of you can see in those days, all those content creators you are having on the internet now was not happening because things has changed. Web 3 has changed and make it to like you can own your content. Before, those contents you people are making money through, it was only just earned probably by the company or few persons. Many could just be doing some things. They are doing massively, but they are doing it wrongly, and they are not getting paid. All right. But right now, you have structured people who teach you what to do on the social media, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Telegram, on YouTube, on different platforms, just having a content, and then you are getting paid. Doesn't that somehow strange, right? You begin to ask. So that means we say the money is in the air. So the way you think money is no longer in the conventional place. And I'll tell you why. Why is it that money is no longer in the conventional place? Because even the conventional place you want to invest into have pushed their money into the internet. That's the thing. All right. They are leveraging on the internet. So if the company, that conventional company, are leveraging on the internet, why don't you meet on the digital space so that you can maximize it? So we have this. Number two, high liquidity. So hyper liquidity, selling house takes months of paperwork, right? You can litigate, right? Or pivot a digital portfolio in a second. So so if you want to like, bunch of Bitcoin, for instance, you want to sell. It doesn't take too much, don't need to look for buyers. You go on a platform and create an offer, and then it's being sold, and your money, nobody would even know. So following, mid move, so where the highest alpha, e.g., shifting from gold to high performance synthetics. I'm just giving you an instance. Now, what I'm trying to explain to you is a very simple thing that here you are building digital solution or you are building digital portfolio rather than looking at, okay, the heavy lifting activities. Then the next global yield because digital portfolio these are few characteristics of global portfolio or digital portfolio. Global yield. A physical property is stock. Now, let me use an example now. If you go and ask, I'm not talking about some marketers in real estate. I'm talking about real deals of real estate. Now, you see that things change now. What are things that are changing now? The things that are changing now are the fact that go and check. Why is it that bank does not give loan for real estate? Now, they call it non-liquid asset. Now, real estate is a liquid asset. That's the truth. That's the reality about it. So, if it's an illiquid asset, now giving loan to it will not bring their cash flow. Now, so for that, the money capital will be tied down for a very long time. Now, and I'll tell you that if you want to know the real value, what we call the facial value and the exchange value of your land, go to the bank and take a loan. You discover that the loan, the line you're using for a collateral, that loan is far lesser than the facial value of your property. I hope you're aware. Now, why do you think bank have to give you a loan of, for instance, let's give you a loan of 10 million naira. Now, the property you are going to take as a collateral maybe up to 50 million naira. They're not doing it because since it's bigger than your money, all right? Since it's bigger than your money, then they can at least anything happen, they can have their 10 million back from because your land is worth 10 million, is worth 50 million, 30 million. No, this is it. The facial value of your land or your property is 50 million. Quite okay. On a good day, if you want to sell with a negotiable stand, you can sell, right? You can sell at 50 million. Now, the bank are not looking for property to acquire. No. What do? That land that worth 50 million naira, then you borrowed 10 million naira. If you do not pay, and you breed the condition, when they take the land to get their money, what bank would do is that they have some contact that are into real estate pure. Now, they are going to give them an option price. They auction your land. So your land is auctioned even at 10 million naira, or maybe a little bit more than 10 million naira. Do you get that? So your land is auctioned at maybe 15 million naira. It's painful for you, though, that my land is auctioned at 10 million naira because that's the loan. What the bank is looking for is not your land, but the liquid that will cover their 10 million naira. Let me tell you one thing. You can read the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 27. There's a translation there. It said, build your business, all right, before building your house. Now, your business is what we call your cash flow. Then your land, your building is an illiquid asset. I know many of us, if you have been in business for many years, this thing I will say, it has happened to you. Are you aware that a billionaire with so many assets everywhere, right? Physical asset, land, properties, different properties everywhere. Are you aware that there's a time ordinary 100,000 naira will do you, according to Nigeria, shege? Yes, I'm even saying that. Don't you know that you own some of those things, a vehicle and all of that home, and you went somewhere you are stranded because of cash flow? Are you aware of that? At a point you pick that land, the document, the paper, and begin to look for buyers. And then you bid the price down. Buyers wouldn't come. You bid the price down, buyer wouldn't come. I'm speaking from experience. Now, you struggle and all of that. At the end of the day, you probably wouldn't see it. There is nothing that can mess you up like lack of cash flow. I'm telling you, honestly speaking. And nobody will listen to you when you're saying, I have this property for sale. I will have sold it. I will have given you this. No, because it's an illiquid asset. All right. So, and I will explain something to you so that you can build progressively. Now, so let's quickly go. The next is, so I talked about the global yield. So property is stock in one city. A digital portfolio collects revenue in USD, BTC, or USDT from every corner of the globe. All right? Hedging you against local currency devaluation. Then we talk about AI multiples. In 2026, AI can manage, optimize, grow your digital asset 24/7. A house just sits there. A digital portfolio is a living worker that compound while you sleep. So these are most few things. But as sweet as this thing I've explained, before you get started in any digital opportunity or building your portfolio, understand this. Before getting started with either real estate or digital portfolio, consider the following. Number one, what is the purpose? Now, this is where I will now show you some things so that you now understand what I talked about, having understanding, vertical knowledge and horizontal knowledge. Vertical knowledge is your core area, and that's where you do your discipline. Now, if you refuse to have horizontal knowledge, you will finish your vertical. You're exhausted. You have nothing to fall back to. This is the problem. Most of our career people, this is the problem they have. Are you aware that somebody works in the bank, somebody works in different companies that are giving solution to people? What they only face there is that let me work very well so that my salary can be paid. Are you aware of that? And now the good tidings that are happening there, they don't even know. Let's say now, for instance, in the stock market, some person can be working as a staff in a place where people are bringing out heavy money. Then at the end of the day, they have nothing to offer because they wouldn't even pay attention to those things happening there. So, first, what is the purpose? Now, I want to get involved in digital portfolio because I'm just starting live or I'm at a prime stage and all of that. I need to build my cash flow. That's what Proverbs chapter 24, verse 27 says. Now, I need to build my cash flow because we have a mind belief, in the village, they say you have not built your house, you have not done this, and you don't have a roof over your head. I say, am I staying in the bush? So now, So that's one of the mind belief. So because these are not financial skill, they are not financial skills. There's if you look back and see some financial mistake you have made, you feel like I need to repent and give my life. Do you understand? So now, first of all, is to what is the purpose? Or the purpose that I need to build a cash flow. Okay, I need to build a cash flow. Aha, thank you very much. Yeah, those are like it's a marketer. Do you understand? So I need to build my cash flow. So that is the purpose first. Oh, capital preservation or legacy. Now, you see these three things I just mentioned: cash flow, capital preservation, or legacy. Now, cash flow is that okay, I need to do something that I need to be getting paid, right? Having some money. Now, it's not that aspect is not your personal effort. You can see you're going to appreciate every opportunity I will present to you as we go through this series in different episodes, one after the other, right? Now, so what is the purpose? The purpose is cash flow first, okay? Then capital preservation, okay? Legacy. Now, if it's cash flow first, you see that sometime you probably will be exposed to certain higher risk, all right? And then you are now trying to reshuffle, pick some things into capital preservation, okay? And then you build towards like legacy. Now, this is the mistake we make. I'm sure many of you, you will beat yourself now. Do you know that out of 100 people that first get some money in the West, they make one proverb. Owó tọmọdé ní tó kọ́ ní àkàrà ló fi ń jẹ. Now, meaning they say the money that a child first gets, maybe the first hit of every child, he will eat akara with it. What do you mean by akara? The mundanes. That's what he's going to eat. He's be attracted with how to impress some friends. He need to buy the latest car. These are the things he's going to spend the money on. And it's normal. So you have you seen that? Now, Birch, if you understand, at a point when the thing now fly off, you feel like, oh my God, see the horrible mistake I made. I will have done this. Okay. So now going forward, if I'm building cash flow, there are platforms I need to patronize, and then I need strategy to do that. Then when I have been able to have some good cash flow, which I will spread tentacles, I'll begin to go for capital preservation because at that time you have made some reasonable money. Then legacy. You can see now, legacy, one of the part of legacy is now like real estate you're talking about. And now you know that many of us, if you observe, go and check real estate business now, has changed. The model has changed. It's not the usual real estate you used to have. What we used to know those days, like, oh, just buy land, just buy property, and all of that. People are now more strategic and more smarter to now buy things. We'll talk about land banking. Why land banking? Because they know that having a land is not enough. Is the land generating you income? Go to some cities, let's say Nigeria. You see, as developed as some places are, people have land there and give it out for bacha. They will call it bacha in the south here. Why do you think they gave it out for bacha? Some people have some land in some places, they fence it and give it for what we call this hybrid agricultural purpose. They lease it out for people to be using it for hybrid agriculture, like fish farming and all of that. The man have that land there, and now till the time probably he's going to do something that is licit, he's going to be making some money without spending much. I'm just giving us dimension. Then the real estate moguls, those ones that are on the top, I'm not talking about marketers. They begin to create kind of, oh, we need more money to acquire more properties and develop some property. Okay, bring down payment. If you go to like Koyi, Lekki, and all of that. So you bring the down payment. I have platforms like that, for instance, down payment, so that when we build and we lease, those type of lease is not the normal lease. Because if you as an individual want to go to Lekki to go and buy land, now, it's cumbersome for you. You probably wouldn't have the money. Then even if you do, to develop it, it will be cumbersome for you to even develop it. We know what cement, they say cement now officially in Nigeria is about 12,000 naira per cement. I don't know. And I'm still going to tell you how to make money in all of those things without necessarily building a house, and then you'll be making money regularly. Okay. Number two, what is your startup capital? So if it's legacy, meaning I'm already old, I just want to build some property. Any property you build, ask me, any property you build and for renting, you are not going to recover the money. It is for your children. Understand that. So you can imagine now you first make some big money, you now go and build a house. Or you went and take cooperative money or loan from the bank and you build a house that by the time tenants start coming, you have not even faced the problem of tenancy. So that one is a different thing altogether. So what is my capital? You are starting with a very little capital, maybe like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million naira, and you say, let me go into property. Property of what? There's a way of going into property and you make more money than person who, at the end of the day, you see that your property become an abandoned project. You say, okay, no, let me go and buy the property in a remote area. Yes, it's good. That's the truth. There's some property I bought sometimes, some years back, long, long time, was like a bush, but at a point, some things just came there. Bah, 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 bah. Everybody starts scavenging that. Does it happen all the time? No. But imagine if I need that money over how many years? Maybe over 16 years, some of them over 10 years, 20 years, some of them over 9 years, 8 years. Now, and I just bought it and keep. What will have happened to me? So I always tell people you don't take business money to buy property or to buy land. You take profit so that your cash flow will still continue, right? So then, what is the source of that capital? If my capital is big or small, now that capital, is it a loan or donation or your entire savings? If it's your entire saving, you buy land or you want say, and by the time I build, you build to the lintel, you may not be able to roof it. You are now subject to now start looking for loan anywhere. And then after doing that, then they say, okay, the first 10 years rent, we use to recover our money. Is it not from prime fan to fire? The people will see you that you have a land, you have a building, and then why are you so looking trouble financially? Because you have made some terrible financial decision. Then what is your age? Your age too is important. I can't imagine a young person at his 30, 40, and then to the mid of 45, 50, and now, okay, I need to build some property and all that. Is it wrong? No, it's not wrong. But there are some things you must build first. Your cash flow first, your capital preservation, then legacy. Gone. So, what is your risk tolerance and appetite? Sometime, then when you are now going to cash flow, your risk tolerance will now make you to look for which one to now put in money to more while spreading tentacles to others. Then what is your knowledge base? You need to have a basic knowledge about this. Now, quickly, I'm just going to paraphrase this and I will show you one of it. So, we say we have PBS 3-in-1 digital and traditional diversification. Now, I'll start from the bottom. That's why I put it number one. Number one is the bottom, but I put it number one. It's called money market. So, and I named this one the cash liquidity pillar. Number two is capital market, the long-term wet pillar. Number three is the digital alpha, the growth pillar. Okay, so and I'm going to show you platform. Some of you are already on our platform and what we're doing. All right. So the first is the money market. What to know about money market before it's not the usual thing. Say the money market is for capital you want to keep extremely safe, but still earning interest in a digital portfolio. This act as your emergency fund. Example, you talk about treasury bills. Example, you call the commercial papers. Example, you call government bonds, mutual funds, and all the like. Do you get that? Now, the point is this. If this one, all of this, treasury bills, commercial papers, government bonds, and all of that. Let me use a case study of Nigeria. Please be careful on this. The government bonds in Nigeria, every first week of the month, it come out. If you are been trading with us, I know some of you have not even explored it. Every first week of the month. So this month, oh now, I'm sure it should be over. If I check my mail, I think I posted something about yes, the government, the bonds on the group of a check that was sent to me by Mary Trade. All right. And that has reduced how many percent? I quickly will just check. Okay. Oh, sorry. Bond. I posted it, I think, on our group. on the other group for the bonds or something. Okay, if I cannot see it, no problem. Now, sometimes government bond can be like maybe 13, 15, 16, 17% in a year now, and it's paid quarterly, sometimes quarterly, sometimes every 4 months. Now, they could give you this and say, okay, buy government bonds and all that. So let's say you have 10 million naira, 10 million naira to invest in buying land, maybe some still considerable place, because 10 million naira will not buy land in a very strong place. If you want to buy land, like a place where I stay, a place where I am, so in Port Harcourt, for instance, if you want to buy land, you'll be talking about average of 50 million naira and above. All right. So 50 million and above, that's just to buy land. Okay. That's just to buy land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 50 million and above. Now, let's say you just have like 10 million or 20 million. Now, if you have 10 million, 20 million, now, and then you're going to have this 10 million or 20 million. So let's say this 50 million. I can decide to patch it into the bond and I will buy in batches. So let's say every first month, every first week of the month. So let's say from January, February, March, April, you have subscribed to 4. So that why? Or I've subscribed to 3. I want a situation since every quarter. Now, when this quarter will reach, a time will come will now turn to every month for me. All right. So if you look at it to say 15%, and it's a tax-free, you don't pay tax on your bond and all of that. I'm just trying to summarize this. So it will now result to I'm making money every month. And maybe for the period, depending on your contract period, some 1 year, some 3 years, some 3 years, some 5 years, and all of that. That continues in that order. Now, if we check it after 5 years, you have made much more than the person who is actually building a property. So take understanding. Then you are learning how to spread your tentacles again into other stuff. Now, government bonds are supposed to be the safest, not no risk attached. Yes, the valuation of the currency, fine. Yes, part of it. But like, okay, my money is going to go away and all of that. No, it's not going to go away. And then you have all of those dimensions. So quickly, because I say I'm going to the last one, I have 15 minutes left for this. A capital market. There's something we miss about the capital market that we do not understand. We call it the long-term wealth builder. So this is where you own a piece of the global economy instead of leasing a house to one tenant. So you lease your capital to the world's most profitable companies. Now listen, every country that have independent, that day they are independent come was the day that their stock market. So what even make you? So the capital market of every country, every independent country must have a capital market that is fully controlled by government, not anybody. So, because why? That is where the company of every country align, and that's how you measure growth. Okay, so let me just show you. Let me go show you something now. Let's look at the healthy nature. All right, the healthy nature of the stock market in Nigeria, for instance, Nigeria stock market. Now, if I go to the Nigeria stock market, so I go to what we call NGSG. So now look at it. Now, I use this to buy stock, but I'm not going to this detail. Now, look at it. See the growth. Then there was a massive drop. Of course, even the New York Stock Exchange market, there was a massive drop. Now, that means as at December, as at December, just last year, December, there was a massive outburst. And you can attest, if you are following us on our group, you know that there was a massive outburst in the Nigerian stock market. So that means you will have participated in a growth that took up to over 200% growth within 3 to 4 months, because we're in April, December to April. Do you see that? Now, that was the market that was struggling at a point. Can you see the way it was flat? So that means if you miss this boost, you will knock yourself in the head. So there was an abnormal growth. I'm sure somebody is learning, right? There was an abnormal growth. There was a growth here to an extent that was in that same 2025. Okay, 2025, let's say from March, or let's take it from January. So we'll take it the new year. Okay, towards the end of the year, because that's the time people don't care. They want to wait for the beginning of the year. That's the best time. End of the year, the best time looking for some of those potential opportunity. All right. That's about 200 and something growth. That's a powerful one now. But this was too astronomical, crazy. But is it bad that we have this pullback? No, it's good we have this pullback. So if let me look at the pullback, has it gotten to about 50? It's still within the range. That means we could still have slight drop of this monumental growth. We could still have slight drop, but it's actually at the range at which it's making sense that I could be buying back some of my stock if you have invested in any stock. Now, I just show you something very, very important and key. So you're talking about the capital market, diversification. Now, let me tell you one cheap code of it. A lot of people, I have an experience many years back. One of my protege came to me and said, boss, cryptocurrency we are doing, I'm not comfortable. I've been losing money. For that. I'm not interested again. This too much, it's too risky. That's the same. Everyone say, I don't want to invest in crypto again. It's too volatile and all of that. Okay, what do you want to do? He said, please, I want to invest in agriculture. I say, it's good. I have farm. I love agriculture and all of that. But I hope you know that every business comes with their own risk peculiar to them. And are you ready to take that risk? Right? He said, no, this one, there's no risk associated to agriculture. It's pure and all of that. So, okay. And we're doing cropping. And lovely enough, I think we injected some money, we bought some land, we leased part some, just to add up to what is required. Some 100 hectares of land that time. We paid, grew the farm and started doing blah, 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 blah. So he was so excited. After a long time, he did all of what he could do, but something happened. Some of our maize, the level, I don't know what they call it, those whatever, attacked it. And so at the end of the day, the first round of the produce, he couldn't have any meaningful outcome. And then he came back and said, I need to bring another money. And I told him I don't do my business like that. I just told him how much have you made out of some crazy million. What he was showing me was not even up to, I don't know, very, very funny amount of. And I told him, hey, you know what? You can take care of yourself with that money. But for me, I don't think I'm interested. I think I'm able to prove a point to you. I said, and I asked the young man, I say, assuming I took this money from bank as loan, what do you think will have happened to me? Crazy thing will have happened to me. Now look at the strategy. I want to invest in maybe oil palm. I may not have that energy or where to go and secure land, start growing. Then this is the cheapest thing I told some people to do in 2023. You want to invest in oil palm. I say buy Presco, right? My time is almost up. I told you that today's introduction. I say buy Presco. Now, when they bought Presco in 2023, many of my people who bought Presco in 2023, all right, in 2023, not even 2024, in 2023, bought it at 117 naira per shares. Oh, yes, 117 naira per shares, Presco. Now, why? They're the major into the oil palm before you talk of Okomu oil and all of that. So this thing, no, 2023, ladies and gentlemen, even if you have grown any oil palm, now 117 naira and Presco went to 2003. I told them to take some profit. Apart from that, they are making insane money on dividend. Now, if you look at it from 117 naira, there are some who bought it cheaper than that. Forget those one probably were opportune to buy at IPO and all of that. Now, but this is the point. Now, if a market that went to 2,300 naira, divide by 117 naira, that's about 19x. That's 1,900%, something like that. 1,900%. So let's divide it by how many years? 2023, so 24, 25. Oh, just 2 years plus. Let's even call it 3 years. Divide by 3. Divide by 3 years. That's about 6x each year. That's 600% each year. That's so big. And you can't quantify it. That is 650% each year. So if you put in 5 million into it, that means 5 million into it, I've given you additional 5 million times 6.5. So 5 times 6, 30 million. That's going to be give you 30.5 million in a year of your 5 million. Now, does it happen like that everywhere? I'm just showing you the area of opportunity you are going to be getting in this series. Okay, so we'll now talk about in this digital stock portfolio holding function shares in AI leaders like NVIDIA and all of that. We have a lot of shares. And why in AI? If I show you the growth of NVIDIA, I told people to buy NVIDIA at about $53 that time. Or no, yes, 45, $53. NVIDIA, I was expecting to go to 220. I think it went to 202 or something. And NVIDIA is down for now. Of course, we'll talk about the global crisis and all of that. So, but this thing I'm just showing to you, this is a diversification that not everybody actually understood. Okay? How the growth, how the massive monumental money-making activities in the space. Now, imagine the same NVIDIA, that's investing in the future. In 2022, you could buy NVIDIA at $13. All right. So the same 2023 I'm talking about was $29. Yes, $29. And it went up to crazy astronomical price of about, I think let's check. I think I'll check back again. I think $202, and probably for maybe this exchange did not capture what's supposed to capture. Now, that's a digital portfolio. Then we call it exchange traded fund. This is the capital market. It's called ETF, diversified basket. And we have it on Bamboo. We have it on different platforms. We're going to show you all of the platforms you can invest all of this. And then we have dividend based, right? Dividend based growth, like Presco is paid I will check the date this month. We are going to be paid by MTN. We're going to be paid by MTN. We're going to be paid by different companies, about 5 companies. Zenith Bank will be paid by month of May, and then other companies will pay. Those of you who are talking about, I want to invest in property and all of that. Let me invest in companies, all right, that relate to properties. You have Boa Cement. I bought Boa Cement at 67 naira per share. And they have been paying dividend. Since then, they have been paying dividend. But look at it. How much is the Boa Cement now? 326 naira. But I bought it at 67 naira per share. I'm just showing you some examples and why we build digital portfolio. Okay. Now, so the last one, this is the place we're supposed to run, but we're going to conclude. Have this. If you're on our group, I'll still post some link and I ask you to register on those things. If you are on this live session and you are not on our group, I'll drop probably. So take my number +234 90 470 44998. I call the number again, +234 90 470 44998. So that you chat with me, I'll add you to the group because I'll drop some links on the group. So this is the pilot, digital alpha, the growth pillar. So what we'll say the PBS, where PBS Sniper, logic, and market, AI market scanner lives. Now, first on the list is called automated trading system, the cash flow engine, high yield synthetic and forex and all of that, using specialized DeFi staking. These are crazy things that I'm mentioning to you. You make a lot of money, but people are not ready to pay attention. These are the problem, okay? DeFi staking, tokenized real estate. So we have some cryptocurrency that real world asset. And that's how we select some coin you need to buy and then hold on to, all right? The same, the real estate, then the intellectual property, the authority. Now, why intellectual property? We're going to tell you about knowledge base or solution you provide that can be put into an AI agent working for you to make money. Then we'll have what we call call it for me, liquidity provision. Now, in cryptocurrency, we have liquidity provision. You may not have money to meet up with the liquidity provision of Forex, but crypto you can do and all of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the intro I have for you, this kickoff today for this series. Today's episode is just generally to show you an intro. Now, the next week, we're going to be talking, basically, I told you we're going to be taking it from top to bottom. So, meaning we are taking automated trading systems by next week. But before that time, on the group, I will have provided you link on different copy system. Okay? On different copy system that's going to help you to maximize money. Okay? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, sorry, the network cut us off. So this is the basic for today as an intro. I want you to have a grand understanding of what we are bringing to the table on this series. This series is power pack called Monimatical Equation. Monimatical Equation. You can't miss it every day. You take a dose of it 1 hour from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Probably from next week, you can have room to ask questions. But now listen, you don't have room to ask questions right now. Now, you can ask your questions on the group when you are added to the group, please. Whatever thing I have just talked about right now, you can ask that question on the group. I will add you to the Telegram group and WhatsApp group. Okay? The cash flow solution group, you ask your questions. So I wouldn't have time to show you, but by next week, I will show you the power of compound system and then in building your digital portfolio. So we'll talk about automation by next week. And many of you who are on the group have already started. All our automation have started running now, and things are actually changing dimension. Many of you see that our AI tech is already powerfully running. It's different from what you're having. Then that is the PBS 3. So PBS 1 and 2, you will see functionality because I told you with NIM business, this is 2026, we're not joking, we're not playing. We really need to produce result and no story. So building the digital portfolio is a very, very important area. Now, when you're able to build, good. If you're now going towards what we call capital preservation, we'll re-expand it for you up, and then you can build up to what we call legacy. I hope somebody had gotten some very, very massive value here. If you have gotten a value, I want you to give us a thumbs up because our time is up already. We are promised it's going to be 1 hour, no more than 1 hour. So by Monday, 8 a.m., don't come late. Invite your friends and then you can advise them. Okay, thank you Femi, thank you very much. Show more love. If you know that value was gotten today in this startup, you are starting with the beginning of the journey. That's massive. So if value was gotten, give us a thumbs up. That's lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So by next week, Monday, 8 a.m., so Monday to Friday, then you have any questions on the group. So you chat on this WhatsApp +234 90 470 44998 so that we can add you to a group and then feel free to ask your questions. And it's going to be very lovely helping us. Thank you very much. Until I come your way again next week, Monday, same place, same time, same whatever, the same goal, not different. But by that time, and on the group when you join, we'll drop some link. Register free. Don't just register, verify your account on them. Don't bother to say, I want to put any money, except if some clarification were given. Then we'll show you how to actually go from there. Thank you very much. Do have a nice time. This is Felix, and I think I have with me my wonderful son, Precious, was around. God bless you. And then I saw a lot of you. Congratulations. So we're taking it to the next level because taking our financials stand very seriously is very important because people always face corporate economy instead of their personal economy. Thank you very much. Do have a nice time.
Your wonderful son, Joel.
Ah! How, how, oh, thank God. Oh, you are